Welcome to my podcast, which is all about changing your business and money reality. This is your master money coach, Dr. Gaurav Deka, and you are money. Hello, my dear friends. Today's episode is on the 4 pillars of my money coaching. So I have these 4 pillars, basically 4 stages. This step-by-step transformation from a space of lack, from a space of not having, from a space of not knowing how to have all that money that we aspire to have, to a space where we can manifest and have all that money that we want. And this is something I use with all my clients, all my students, and all the people who come for my business and money coaching program, ATEPS, Abundance, Tapping, Expansion Practice Series. So these are the 4 pillars. I work with them. So the first pillar is called trauma-informed healing. I happen to be a trauma-informed coach. I help people decode and figure out where their patterns, their behaviors, their spending habits, or let's say their fears around money, or their guilt around money, or their shame around money, or the contraction of their bodies to money, everything that doesn't help them to have and make the money that they want, I recognize and I'm willing to believe, and I know that they come from a space of trauma. We cannot manifest a life of our dreams by being in a survival response. And because all these different survival responses come from our childhood, come from our family, many times we may be victims of these traumatic experiences, and the reaction to those traumas may not be over, right? For example, when our bodies and our nervous systems are constantly on flight mode or fright mode or freeze mode, the only thing we can create is a stress response. So flight, fight, and freeze. If we remain in these modes, then we remain limited. We cannot create, we cannot think, we cannot rationalize, we cannot form logic, we cannot compute, we cannot, even our language center sort of breaks down. So we become numb, right? So it's very important to look at all the limitations we have that doesn't allow us to be our authentic self with money, that doesn't allow our business to thrive, because we cannot approach it from a space of happiness and ease and joy, because all the time we are so scared that, oh my God, I don't know what will I do with my business. Oh my God, if someone comes and loots me. Oh my God, if my business partner doesn't cooperate with me. All these irrational thought errors, right? So when we are in flight, fight, and freeze mode, the only thing that we can create is a stress response. And we create more fear, we create more anxiety. There is definitely more cortisol that is released in the bloodstream. And as a result of which, we go into the space of inner lack, from where we cannot ever have a positive thought. We cannot basically create. So before we imagine moving towards the grand life, the great magical life that we want, we will have to, first of all, have the power to connect to safety. We have to feel safe inside our body. We have to feel safe with the world. We have to feel safe with the world we are interacting, be it on social media, be it with our clients, be with someone prospective when we are telling them about our work. I have to feel safe while I'm recording this podcast, because in my imagination, I'm thinking, oh my God, if someone is listening, if they don't agree with me, they're going to leave a negative review. If they don't, like me, they're going to write badly, they're going to foul mouth me. So if I am stuck in a trauma response from my past, from my childhood, and from my, generational line, I may become prone to thinking like that, as a result of which I may not be able to be my authentic self in this podcast, right? Because I'm trapped in that traumatic response, right? In the energy, in the capsule of that trauma. And as a result of which, the reality I create is, well, not only bad reviews, but also I'm unable to connect to you, my listeners. I am unable to um, tell you my story. I'm unable to believe that you are listening to me and you are liking this podcast, right? I'm unable to have a positive thought about the work that I'm doing. I'm unable to have a positive thought about the podcast that I'm recording, right? So the first step to having the life that we want with a lot of abundance, with a lot of money, is trauma informed healing, right? Then comes the second pillar, right? The second pillar is something that you may not have heard. This pillar is called system centric container, right? System centric container. So I always say that our issues and problems in life are never individualistic in nature. For example, my sadness is not individual and limited to me. My depression is not individual and limited to me. My money problem, my money beliefs, my business acumen, my lack of trust in myself, my lack of trust in my business is not individual to me. They are systemic. We are not isolated islands without the sea floating underneath us. But instead, we are one single piece connected to a huge network of lives. You know, who are this network of lives? These are our parents, our ancestors, our community, our culture, our race, our country, right? So when I'm working with a student, when I'm working with a client, when I'm working with someone in ATEPS, a participant, first of all, I am in the greatest honor of the client system. I honor their family. I honor their system, their community, the race they come from, the country they belong to, right? Because I know all the belief systems, the mindset, the thought patterns, the feelings, the attitudes they are bringing onto the table, which is causing the issue wherein they are unable to make the money, manifest their lives, or have the business that they want. You know, all of these come from the different system they belong to, right? So when I'm working with coaching them, coaching my client, coaching my students, I'm actually working with the whole system. So my student and my client is never really alone. They come with their whole system. And I deeply honor and remember that while working with my client or my student, I will have to approach from a system centric container that I am able to make them see that so many judgments, so many conclusions, so many ideas, so many limiting beliefs, so many mindsets that they're bringing into the coaching with me, into the work with me, that doesn't let them manifest the life that they want, have the money that they want, doesn't let them become their authentic self, are also systemic. They come from the system, from their family, from their race, from their culture, from their country, you know, from their economy, from their politics, from their demography, right? And this is to not make these people feel that, oh, your system is wrong, you know, they made you feel like this, they have burdened you with all of these things. This is to empower the student or the client that when you choose to have money, when you choose to change the business, the way you do the business, when you choose to change the way you transact, the way you appear in the world, the way you show up, when you choose to embrace your authentic self, that's when you make your systems proud. You make your ancestors proud. You make your parents and you make your people, you make your community, you make your culture proud. Because that's the moment when you change all the old belief systems, all the rigid notions, all the rigid ideas, all the, you know, all the unfulfilled dreams of your ancestors, everything that they wanted to have, everything that they wanted to experience. Do you realize that when you choose to have more money, when you choose to be courageous with your business, when you choose to be vulnerable on social media, when you choose to be vulnerable in front of your clients, when you choose to, you know, demand for more, when you choose to value your skill, you actually make your ancestors proud, because then you fulfill the life, the dreams that they did not get to live, and you get a chance to change the system, change the river of the system, change the way the system works, right? So you become the trailblazer. You are not the black sheep, you are the trailblazer, right? So that's what is system-centric container, the second pillar. Now, the third pillar, coming to the third pillar, is this has an interesting name, and it's called spatial somatic expansion, right? Fancy name. Spatial somatic expansion. So what is spatial somatic expansion? So when we think of our lives as expanded, as full, as rich, as whole, right? Many of us are unaware that this sense of fullness, this sense of richness, this sense of being whole, being abundant, being complete, it starts with the body. I always ask people in ATEPs that how is your body contributing to your business, right? Do you realize that your business is a direct extension of your body? So if you feel light in your body, if you feel light in your gut, if you feel ease in your body, if you feel that you have flexibility in your body, right? If you feel rich in your body, if you feel full in your body, you are going to feel all of these things in your business. Do you realize that? So there is a direct correlation between our body and our business, the money we want to make. So until we feel expanded in the body, inside ourselves, no external expansion can actually happen, right? So in this phase of my coaching, I help my clients and I help my students to break out all the bullshit structures that the society and the world has pinned on them, right? By embracing their true authentic self and cause expansion, because all the models that we may have borrowed, which may not be working for us, are models of patriarchy, are models of a hierarchical world, right? So in simple words, I push my clients, I push my students to outcreate their current reality and propel them to create the life of their dreams. I cause their bodies to expand, their beings to expand, their souls to expand. As a result, their financial reality also expands. So reminding you once again, our financial reality is a direct extension of the expansion we feel in our bodies, right? Now, coming to the fourth pillar of working with me, expanding your financial and money reality, right? Causing a huge transformation to your business. So the fourth pillar is inhabiting the quantum ambivalence. Inhabiting the quantum ambivalence. So when we are in the expansion phase, which is basically the third phase, students often feel that I'm creating a new life, but I'm scared of all the uncertainty that comes with it, right? So you are going towards a new life. You are now being your authentic self, putting yourself out there, talking to people, expanding your business, taking calls of clients, showing up on social media, talking about your work, but you are now scared, right? Of all the uncertainty that comes with it, that I know I've embraced my wild, wild self, but is this going to work out? What if people judge me? What if, my business goes down? What if whatever I was making before this felt safe and this is so unsafe because I don't know how is this going to happen, right? And this is the final phase where I actively push people towards manifestation, right? And true manifestation is not possible when we are shrouded in trauma, right? When we move out of our flight and fight responses, we become ready to create. So creation is the final and the real elixir of human life. And we can truly create when we are ready to embrace a sea of possibilities, where we may not know what exactly will show up, but we are so much connected to our inner core that we can manifest anything we want just by agreeing to inhabit a space of absolute nothingness. This space of absolute nothingness is called quantum ambivalence. So my idea with all my students and all my clients is to help them safely inhabit and embody the space of quantum ambivalence with ease. And I tell all of them to drop their how, HOW, quote unquote, how. Because when we figure out how is this going to happen, how is my business going to make money? How am I going to make my first $100K, right? How am I going to make my first 50 lakh, right? How am I going to scale my business, right? How am I going to motivate clients? How am I going to get clients, right? How are clients going to show up to me? How am I going to buy that house? So all these hows, what they do is they give us one solution. They give us one way of functioning. They give us a very limited way of approaching towards things, working it out. They give us a process, right? And the problem with that is then we become married to the process. We become connected to this process that, oh no, this is the only way things are going to happen. However, when you go through all the first three pillars, which is basically the trauma-informed healing, the system-centric container, the spatial somatic expansion, you reach a space, you reach a point where inhabiting the quantum ambivalence, this space of nothingness where, well, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm so connected to my inner core that I'm willing to believe that these possibilities can show up. And I know that all of those possibilities are going to work out for me, are going to bring me ease, are going to bring me money, are going to bring me the goal, the business that I want to have. And I don't have to control the process. I don't have to control the how. And this space is difficult to reach unless we have worked on the first three pillars. And this is the true, as I said, it's the true elixir. It's the true elixir of human life, where you can be in a state of ease with not knowing how things are going to happen, but you know that it's going to happen and it's going to bring ease, a lot of lightness, a lot of richness, a lot of abundance, right? And this feeling of knowing starts within the body, as we saw in the third pillar, right? So these were the four pillars of my coaching. And I would like every one of you to experience these four pillars in my business and money coaching program, ADEPS. So I leave you here, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Rather, I will talk to you soon. Thank you. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are willing to change your business and money reality, head to my free coaching community on Facebook called You Are Money. Link is in the show notes. And do not forget to leave a review on Spotify.com or Apple Podcast. Thank you so much.